This is its financial history too, where money's past reveals tomorrow's truth. For over 100 years, the world has been arguing about the wrong question. We were told the battle was capitalism versus socialism, but the real war was never about systems. It was about power. Who has it, who doesn't, and who will take it next? Welcome to the It's Financial History 2. It's one of the longest, loudest fights in modern history. A conflict that outlasted revolutions, toppled empires, bankrupted superpowers, and split the planet into rival camps. For more than a century, capitalism and socialism weren't just economic theories. They were weapons. Ideological battle lines drawn through nations, families, classrooms, and battlefields. But here's the truth no textbook influencer wants to admit. Neither system has ever worked the way its believers promised. Not once. Not anywhere. When the pressure rose, war, famine, inflation, financial collapse, both ideologies cracked. And what emerged was a brutal lesson. The world is far messier than any manifesto. Welcome to the Financial Historian, where money, power, and history collide. And where nothing is ever as simple as the slogans. Before anyone spoke the words capitalism or socialism, the economy was something much simpler. Survival. For thousands of years, kings ruled by divine right. Landlords controlled the land, and ordinary people produced just enough to avoid starvation. Wealth came from land, labor, and conquest. Progress crawled at the speed of centuries. And the idea that common people could grow rich through innovation? Madness. Then came the Industrial Revolution, a shockwave that ripped the world open. Late 1700s, Britain was a pressure cooker of coal, iron, money, and ambition. Machines replaced muscle, factories replaced workshops. And for the first time in human history, private individuals could own and scale wealth on a level once reserved for monarchs. Productivity exploded. Living standards rose for some, while misery deepened for millions. Slums grew, pollution choked cities, and inequality accelerated faster than any society had ever seen. Capitalism was powerful, brutally powerful, and it changed everything. But its dark side gave birth to its greatest rival. By the mid-1800s, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels looked at factories filled with smoke and child labor and argued that capitalism wasn't just unfair, it was theft. They believed workers should own the factories, profits should be shared, and production should serve people, not private gain. Socialism promised justice, equality, dignity, but real history had other plans. The first serious attempt at socialism wasn't an academic experiment, it was the Soviet Union, born from the ruins of the 1917 Russian Revolution. Lenin inherited a collapsing empire and tried to replace markets with centralized planning. The state owned everything. Bureaucrats set prices. Competition disappeared. In theory, it should have created perfect equality. In practice, it created shortages, stagnation, and suffering. Meanwhile, capitalism wasn't doing much better. The early 1900s saw extreme inequality and unchecked speculation. Then came 1929, the Great Depression. Banks collapsed. Millions lost everything. Capitalism looked as unstable as socialism looked unproductive. By the 1930s, the world faced an uncomfortable truth. Pure capitalism failed. Pure socialism failed. Then came World War II, the ultimate stress test. The Soviet Union mobilized millions with terrifying speed. Capitalist America transformed into an industrial supermachine. After 1945, the Cold War turned the entire planet into an economic laboratory. Central planning versus regulated capitalism. The results were dramatic. The Soviet Union industrialized fast, but innovation died. Factories met quotas by producing garbage. Shelves were empty. And by the 1980s, the USSR couldn't keep up with the West's technology, productivity, or living standards. Capitalism survived because it adapted, adding regulation, safety nets, social insurance, and public services. Socialism collapsed where it refused to evolve. And it thrived only where it merged with markets, like Scandinavia and post-1978 China. But capitalism's victory was temporary. By the 1990s and 2000s, it mutated into something new. Financialized, globalized, driven by debt and speculation. Inequality surged again. Housing, healthcare, and education costs exploded. The 2008 crash proved capitalism's old demons were never gone, only rebranded. And so the debate returned. But this time something changed. Almost no one wants pure capitalism or pure socialism anymore because history made the cost of purity painfully clear. Every major economy today is a hybrid. Part market, part state intervention. Not because ideology failed, but because reality demanded compromise. Capitalism works when it has guardrails. Socialism works only when it embraces incentives and markets. And neither system can survive with too much concentrated power, whether in billionaires or bureaucrats. The fight was never capitalism versus socialism. The fight was always who controls the power inside the system, who sets the rules, and who benefits from them. As we enter an age defined by AI, climate shocks, demographic collapse, and global debt, ideology matters less than ever. The nations that will dominate the 21st century are the ones that blend the strengths of both systems. Market creativity with state direction, private innovation with public stability. History's verdict is simple: the system that adapts wins. The system that refuses to change collapses. And now it's our generation's turn to decide where that balance lies. If this gave you a new perspective, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the It's Financial History 2. History doesn't repeat, but it always leaves clues. And I'll show you where to find them.